Top at 11, an armed and dangerous suspect believed to be hiding out in Hampton Roads. It all began early this morning when Chesapeake police officers were shot at after a car chase ended in Portsmouth.
Virginia State Police are taking the lead on this local investigation. Chanu Her joins us in the studio now to show us more from the scene.
Well, guys, the investigation lasted more than 12 hours. State police taped off that area, and neighbors in the area did speak with us, saying that normally it's very quiet in their neighborhood.
I heard it, and it just freaked me out.
Sound asleep, Larry Founds woke up Tuesday to more noise than he'd ever heard in 26 years of living at the Victory Mobile Home Park in Portsmouth.
Daggone. Bam, 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 bam. I mean, they were so quick together. That's what freaked me out.
When he looked out the window, he says he saw police lights everywhere and officers just a little bit down the street.
Yeah, a little scary because I didn't know bullets would come flying through there.
This was where a police car chase ended. Virginia State Police say Chesapeake officers tried to pull over a car on South Military Highway around 4:30. The driver of the Ford Mustang didn't stop and instead took off. When he got to Victory Boulevard, he got out of the car and ran. While running away, he shot at the officers. 12 hours into the state police investigation, the bullet-damaged police car still sat on Victory Boulevard. Luckily, no one was injured, but the suspect got away.
26 years, and there's been no violence, anything I can tell you about, or gunplay. And I love it out here. That's why I stay out here.
All day Tuesday, as police investigated, some of Larry's neighbors weren't able to leave their homes. Some say they had to call out sick from work. Others just watched out of curiosity.
I checked my showers, but then it's okay.
It's been a very peaceful trailer park. You know, I might make it unpeaceful when I pump my Bose 901s up, but that's it, man.
26 years with little trouble ever in his neighborhood. Larry hopes to never see anything like this again.
To me, 26 years, I love this place.
The Bureau of Criminal Investigation is investigating the officer-involved shooting incident. Once the investigation is complete, the state police will turn over the findings to the Portsmouth Commonwealth's attorney. As for the suspect, we'll let you know when we get more information. Chanu Her, 13 News Now.
Instead of temperatures dropping, we actually got warmer this evening. That's because of a storm that is fueling the atmosphere. Take a look at this. All of this green, this huge front is headed our way. Evan, it carries a slight risk of severe weather.
That's right. We've seen this storm produce several tornadoes out west of us, and that's why we're concerned tomorrow about the potential for maybe some stronger thunderstorms into the afternoon. We mentioned earlier a chance of an isolated sprinkler to this evening. We saw a few up through Gloucester County, Matthews County, the Middle Peninsula, the Northern Neck, and over towards the eastern shore. But it's that much larger system that you were showing us, Regina. We have these severe thunderstorm watch boxes posted all the way from southwestern Pennsylvania through the deep south. And we have had several reports of tornadoes back through parts of Kentucky and Indiana. So this line is working eastward. It'll weaken a little bit as it crosses the mountains, but because of that threat, we have a slight chance of severe weather tomorrow. The Storm Prediction Center has outlined the entire area for the possibility of some strong thunderstorms or even maybe some severe weather into tomorrow afternoon. Now, we'll break this down a little bit more, but this is just sort of a guideline that we really expect from about noon until 5 p.m. That's the window that we're watching. And I think the biggest issue that we could see would be some damaging winds, wind gusts over 50 miles per hour with some of these thunderstorms. And there could be some large hail. Can't totally rule out an isolated tornado, but those chances are pretty low, and we're not expecting any kind of flash flooding with the storm. So again, that timeline tomorrow mainly between about noon and 5 p.m. and you can see that here with our Futurecast forecast. Temperatures up into the low 70s tomorrow, and that sets the stage for the possibility of those thunderstorms. When I come back, I'll break it down even more with Futurecast, let you know what to expect hour by hour, and talk about some big swings in temperatures as we head into the weekend. That's all coming up in a few minutes.
Evan, thanks. A female suspect is dead, taking her own life after a shooting at YouTube's headquarters. Law enforcement officials saying the shooting appears to stem from a domestic situation. 3 victims are being treated for gunshot wounds, only one the intended victim of the shooter. Natalie Burnell joins us with details. Natalie?
The YouTube campus is now secure after a methodical floor-by-floor, room-by-room search by police. Law enforcement officials saying the female suspect, who apparently shot and killed herself, was targeting only one of the victims, a 36-year-old man who is now in critical condition.
It's an active shooter at 901 Cherry.
An active shooter at YouTube's headquarters. 911 calls reporting shots fired, prompting a massive and quick police response at the sprawling campus in San Bruno, California.
We got calls of shots being fired at 12:46 this afternoon. We had 3 officers arrive within 2 minutes.
When they arrived, chaos, people fleeing the building with their hands in the air, witnesses painting a terrifying picture.
I heard like maybe 15, 17 shots.
I saw the victim. She was in the dining room and she had a leg injury. It's a gunshot wound. So I put like a tourniquet on her.
Ambulances rushed to the scene as SWAT officers entered the building, guns drawn. Inside, police finding 3 victims who had been shot and a female suspect dead after taking her own life.
So confirming she is the suspect?
Confirm, that's what we were told.
YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki tweeting, quote, "There are no words to describe how horrible it was to have an active shooter at YouTube today. Our hearts go out to all those injured and impacted today." President Trump briefed on the shooting, also sending a tweet saying our thoughts and prayers are with everybody involved. The investigation into the shooting continues.
It'll be a long night for those folks. We'll be out here all night, and it'll be a long processing the scene.
San Francisco General Hospital is treating 3 people, that man in critical condition who may be the intended victim, and 2 women ages 32 and 27 who are in serious and fair conditions. A 4th victim was also injured, running from the scene. Natalie Brunell, ABC News, Los Angeles.
New video from Charlottesville tonight. City Council chambers was cleared after a commotion broke out between the organizers of the Unite the Right rally and members of the audience. It started about an hour into the meeting when Jason Kessler went up to the podium to speak. Dozens of people from the crowd moved in front of the podium yelling at Kessler. After a few minutes, the order was given to clear the room.
They have a right to speak. They have a right to voice their concerns. How this has to work is that if you disagree, what is the strategy that you come up with? So things will be different in the area if you feel differently about that. And the screaming, yelling, bottles, crinkling, all of that stuff is not going to change that.
After a 30-minute recess, council continued without further interruption.
Norfolk City Council is looking ahead to the next fiscal year, and they're talking about raising real estate taxes. City Manager Doug Smith is recommending a 10-cent real estate tax increase to address some huge problems for Norfolk. One of the big priorities is aging infrastructure. About 20% of funds generated from that increase will address that. Smith said Norfolk has water pipes that predate World War I, and a lot of the city's infrastructure is just no longer useful.
We've got old facilities, old equipment, and in order to deliver the services that we need, that people expect, we need to have the right equipment and the right technology and the right facilities to deliver those services.
Other issues this budget looks to tackle include poverty, school funding, and sea level rise. To read more about it, head to 13newsnow.com. New option for flyers at Norfolk International starting in June. Allegiant Air will offer flights from Norfolk to Jacksonville, Florida. Tickets for a one-way flight start at $49. We're told the flights are Thursdays and Sundays. The airport and airline believe this route will make a large impact on the military community, helping to connect Naval Station Norfolk to Naval Air Station Jacksonville and Naval Station Mayport. If successful, the airline may extend the seasonal route.